Hey guys, welcome to English class for today. We are going to be writing a cover letter. So you might be like, well, what is a cover letter? Okay, well, we just did a resume, right? You know, your resume is you're looking for a job. The people that you're looking for a job with, they need to know about you, right? They need to know your name. They need to know your phone number. They need to know your qualifications. They need to know why they're going to hire you instead of hiring somebody else, right? Well, the thing with the resume is that that doesn't really set you apart from other people. I mean, yeah, you might have different qualifications, different education, and different stuff like that. But what happens if you and five other people have the same level of education, the same level of experience, and the only thing different between you and them is your name, right? Well, then what's going to happen? They don't know you and they don't have time to interview all five of you. They want to know right away who's really going to be worth interviewing, right? So the resume doesn't give you as much liberty and as much opportunity to set yourself and distinguish yourself apart from other people. So many people use what's called a cover letter. I've found here that a cover letter is not very what's the word, common, but it's important, you guys. Okay, so maybe right out of high school, you already have a job, you already have a contact. Like, okay, I'm gonna get you a job over here. I'm gonna get you a job over here. That's great, good. Okay, but when you come to the point where you are gonna need to compete for the job, whether it's entry level, which is right now where you don't have a lot of experience and you only have a high school degree, or it's later on in your career, a cover letter, you guys, is super important. And I'm not just making that up, or you can't just say it's an American thing too. I was talking to Haley the other day about it, Profa Haley, and she was saying, I asked her, I said, are cover letters used here? And she said, you know what? They're not common here, but it would be a great thing for the students to learn so that they can apply them here and set themselves apart from other people. Because what a cover letter does, you guys, is a cover letter personalizes your curriculum, your resume for that job that you want. And you engage the person. So, okay, look, this is who I am. I'm really interested in interviewing with you. And you're promoting yourself, okay? Instead of selling a product, you're selling what? You're selling your opportunity of being an employee there, okay? I can't say you're selling yourself. That sounds a little weird, don't you think so? You're selling your position, your disponibilidad, your availability to do the position that they are looking for. Okay? So it is a sales pitch letter, basically. Like in business, you might send a letter to a different company convincing them to buy something that you're selling. Well, here you're convincing them to buy you, okay? To make you their employee so that you can be part of this company. So you give the perspective in this cover letter that it's an opportunity, it's a privilege, right? To have you as their employee. And that is going to set you apart from other people. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen right now and I'm going to show you a version of a cover letter. Okay, right here. Here's a version of a cover letter. It's very basic. You have first of all, you have to write it properly. Okay, this is what we're going to be doing today. You have to have the proper format. So you have date, then you have your first name and your title. No, pardon, not your first name. The first name of the person that you're addressing it to, the title, the name of the company, the address of the company, the city, the state, and the zip code. Okay, the salutation to that person. Okay, all the stuff that you learned about parts of a letter in Spanish is the same thing in English. Then look what it says right here. This is important information because you're going to be writing your cover letter today. So you want to write this down. Okay, write this down, take some notes on the cover letter, and I'll explain to you how we're going to do it. Okay, so one, you might want to take a screenshot or you might want to write this down about the format, date. I say first and last name, and the title of the person. So whether or not it's, Mr. Mark Schuler, comma, administrator of the school. Okay. Name of the company, address of the company, city, state, etc. Okay. So here it's different. I understand in Honduras, the address, but you can still indicate the location of the business. Okay. Then you have your salutation. That's what you would do is you would write it directly to the person. And the video is going to talk about that, so I'm not going to go into it, but there's your salutation. Then look what it says right here. The first paragraph of the cover letter should tell the employer the reason for your letter, such as I am applying for this position of information technology intern. Okay? So you're just in the first paragraph, you're just stating why you're writing them the letter. What position are you interviewing for? Okay? However, I need to tell you a tip that's not mentioned in this video, but I was always taught in studying business. Don't start with I, okay? What you need to do in a business letter is have what's called you attitude, which means you're always focused on the person. You're not focused on yourself. So if you start the sentence with I do this, I'm here to apply for this position. Okay, that's not, it's going to look like you're focused on yourself and not focused on helping the company. So what you could say is, after learning of the position of county clerk, I would like to submit my resume and apply for that position, okay? Or after having so many great experiences in your company of Serranos, in Serranos as a client, you could say as a customer, I would love to be part of the team. And I'm seeking to apply to the position of office assistant, right? Or because I've heard many accomplishments of Banco Atlántida in the banking world, I would love the opportunity to be part of the team and am applying for the position of et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So you don't have to start your cover letter with the word I, okay? Then look what it says in the second paragraph. This should spark the employer's interest in you and cause them to want to meet you in person. Explain your qualifications in this paragraph, and this paragraph will probably be your longest paragraph, okay? So I'm just giving you some requisitos right now, and then we're going to get into some tips in this video, okay? And then the third paragraph thanks the potential employer for taking the time to consider the position, offers to provide additional information, and lists your phone number and email address. So this paragraph just needs to be very, very short. Okay, so are we seeing what's happening? First paragraph, you introduce what position you want. Second paragraph, you introduce who you are and why you would make a good fit for the company. And then third paragraph is a plan of action. What do you want them to do? Do you want them to call you for an interview? Do you want them to look at your portfolio? Do you want them to look at your resume? What do you want them to do? And then sincerely, you type your name on the bottom, but then also sign it. That's the most professional way. You type your name on the bottom, so you leave space, type your name on the bottom, and sign it. Usually you leave four spaces, 4 lines between sincerely and your name. But if you're doing it on notebook paper, you would leave just like 3 lines. Okay, so what are you going to do today? You're going to invent a company. So think about what you want to be. Okay, what do you want to be? What's your career that you're looking for? Invent a company or look for a company online, a real company and a position at that company. Okay, or invent a position at that company. I'm going to know what you invented because it's going to be here in the cover letter. Okay, but you need to either pick a company offline, or you need to, or pick a company here in Rosetown that you know about, or invent a company in a position and apply for that job with this cover letter. So watch this good tip video about how to do it. Then you're going to use that format that I told you today, and you're going to write your cover letter. Let's see what she says.
So, do you really need a cover letter with your resume? Here's something to think about. Most recruiters, hiring managers, and employers would agree that a cover letter is just as important as your resume or CV. In fact, they recommend spending just as much time on your cover letter as you would your resume or your CV. Here's something else to consider. Your cover letter becomes the most important at the very last minute when a hiring manager or an employer is trying to decide who to bring in for an interview. Most likely, they'll jump over to your cover letter to see if you will be one of the chosen few. Before we jump into
what I want to stop and tell you guys is keep your cover letter short. Do you see what she's saying? They're These people that are hiring you, they don't have a lot of time. Okay, they got to make decisions quickly. If they see your cover letter and they see this long explanation about yourself, guess what? They're not going to call you in because they're not going to read that cover letter. Okay, because your resume is going to tell them your experience. Your resume is going to tell them everything that they need to know logistically. They just want to be convinced that you have the enthusiasm, the initiative, and the personality that they need to fulfill the position. They can see your experience on the next page. Okay, so make it short.
The 5 strategies to help you write the perfect cover letter. Keep in mind that your cover letter can take on a few forms. One would be an attachment to an email. The second form would be some type of explanation inside of the body of an email. And then the third form would be inside of an applicant tracking system. Either way, follow these tips to the perfect cover letter. Tip number 1, customize your cover letter.
Okay, so did you guys see that? It's not necessarily that it's going to be physical all the time. This could be in a text message. This could be in an email, especially. So many times nowadays, you guys, you have to attach your resume to an email. So what are you going to do? Your cover letter is going to be the body of the email, okay, so that they see it. So you have to make sure that you're ready for this digitally and physically. Make sure you take notes on these tips.
Start by addressing the person that you are sending the cover letter to. This is called the salutation. This can be something like, "Dear Mr. John Doe," or "Hello, Miss Sally Smith." Do everything you can to find out who will be receiving your cover letter. This can be something as simple as a phone call to the company or some research on LinkedIn. Do your best to avoid common phrases like "to whom it may concern" or "dear hiring manager." Customizing your salutation shows the one receiving it that you took the extra time to find out who they were. Next, introduce yourself to the reader and state what position you are applying for. If you are referred by someone in the company or by someone that knows the hiring manager or employer, make sure you mention it right up front. This leads us to tip number 2.
Okay, so did you hear that, you guys? Look, what if somebody inside the company knows you and says, look, apply for this job? Then in the first paragraph, you need to state that. After hearing about the position, after being after the position of et cetera, was recommended to me by John Doe, right? They know who John Doe is because he works for the company. He has a good reputation for the company, and they now know that he told you about this position because he thinks that you're going to be good for this position. You need to mention that right away. How did you hear about this job? Is it because somebody recommended you for it? Because somebody wants you to take the job that they know? Then it's going to give you credibility right away. So that's what she's saying. Make sure you mention that in a professional way, like I just said. After hearing about this position from your county clerk, Mr. John Doe, I became interested in applying for this. Attaches my resume, blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Demonstrate that you are the solution to their problem. Start by evaluating the job posting. What particular pain points can you solve? Explain how your skills and expertise are the solution they've been looking for. To gain a greater insight into what the company's pain points are, conduct some research on their website. Also, follow their social media networks. Read articles the company has published. Read articles others have published about the company. Doing this will shed some light on how you are the solution to their problem. This is
Do you hear that? You need to know about the company. Okay. You need to know, you need to do your research. You need to talk to people if you can, or you need to look it up on the internet so that you can use that kind of stuff to show your interest in the company and to show your interest in being part of the company. Okay, it just takes 1 or 2 phrases that you can mention about about the company to make them know that you're interested in that company and not just interested in getting whatever job that you can get.
also the perfect time to mention why you want to work for the company. Why do you like them? What about the company or position stands out most to you? Talk about them and what makes them unique. This leads us to tip number 3. Show your personality. Today more than ever, it's important to show your reader who you really are. If you really want to stand out from other candidates, include a story about yourself that relates to the position you are applying for. You could include a funny story. Humor is a great way to break the ice and captivate your audience. Just make sure your story highlights your skills and expertise. The idea here is that you want to leave your reader wanting more. You want to grab their attention, captivate them, and want them to take interest in who you are as a person. There's a famous saying, facts tell, stories sell. Stories are a great way to show your personality and your character. However, you don't want to go overboard. Keep your cover letter concise and to the point. This leads us to tip number 4. Don't rehash your resume. Think of your cover letter as a supplement to your resume. This is the perfect time to share more details.
Rehash just means repeat. Okay, it's a supplement. It's adding to it. It's not just stating your resume in different words.
Details about your most important accomplishments. Explain your skills and talents in action. Give clear and direct examples of your accomplishments and how they relate to the job you are applying for.
Okay, so listen to that. Examples. If you pick a really good example that shows why you'd be good for this position, write it down in a professional way. Don't be proud. Look, I'm the only one that can do this job because of blah, blah, blah. No, don't be proud, but be enthusiastic to be part of the company and to use your skills to help them.
Finally, on to tip number 5. Structure your cover letter appropriately. As I mentioned earlier, begin with a customized salutation, followed by a strong introduction that explains what position you are applying for and why you want to work for them. Get creative with your sentence structure. You only have a few seconds to engage your reader. Try using a statement that shows your passion and love for the company and the position. Round it all off with a clear and concise conclusion that contains some type of call to action, such as a reference to your resume, an invitation to interview, or even a good time to talk. There you have it.
Okay, so hear that? An action at the end. An interview, a call, a time to talk, look at the resume. Okay, tell them what you want them to do with reading your information.
Folks, 5 simple steps to the perfect cover letter. Let's recap. Tip number 1, customize your cover letter. Tip number 2, demonstrate that you are the perfect solution to the problem. Tip number 3, show your personality. Tip number 4, don't rehash your resume. And then finally, tip number 5, structure your cover letter appropriately. Thanks guys for hanging in there until the end. I promised a special bonus for you.
Okay, so what I'm going to do too is I'm going to go over to Google and we're just going to do something that you can do as well to help you. Good examples of cover letters. Okay, I'm going to go over to Imágenes. I'm going to do a short one, right? Let's see what this guy has to say. Let's see if it pulls up. I'm going to do it this way. Zoom in a little bit. Let's see if it'll zoom that in. No, let's see. I just want to give you this experience like this because it's something that you can do as well. Look what it has. It has the date. It has the company. It has the address. It has the title of what it's regarding, the digital marketing specialist. You can add that as well. The line that says exactly the position that you're doing. Now look what he says. He's combined everything into one paragraph because it's not, magic that you have to have 3. Dear Margaret, I have been an enthusiastic and passionate digital marketer for a long time. The attached resume will show you my 5+ years of experience as a digital marketing executive where I learned search engine optimization, social media marketing, PPC, etc. So what is he doing? He's taking his experience, but he's also giving specific examples of what makes him specialized in this area, right? I have increased organic search traffic of Ranmore hotel chain by 75%. That is a huge example, you guys, of what the person has done. Even for you guys as an introductory level, you can write a cover letter talking about your accomplishments in school, accomplishments in managing time between work and school, between extracurricular activities like football in school, between responsibilities in the house and school, right? What your pro media was, that you were on the top of your class, that you volunteered in the church, that you volunteered in different places. You can put that in there and connect it to the fact that that makes me an enthusiastic employee. It makes me a dedicated person that can manage their time well, et cetera, right? It says here, and the social media campaign helped them to boost up their annual revenue by 45%. I believe these achievements make me the perfect candidate for the digital marketing specialist at your company. You can contact me at this number. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Thank you for your consideration. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. He puts all of it together into really 2 paragraphs there. Okay. So let's see another one. They might not show us those. Nope. You guys have to have patience with me because I can't stop a Zoom video for recording. Thank you. Let's see this one. Okay, here's one. Date, address, dear Mr. Hooft. As a qualified UI UX designer with 8 years of experience working for Silicon Valley startups, I believe, see how she did not start with I? As a qualified this, I believe I am the ideal candidate for TechTown USA's design director position. I am a motivated, enthusiastic worker. Now she can start with I because she already started out the paragraph without I. And started out the letter without I, so the people aren't already thinking like, oh my gosh, all she wants to do is talk about herself. I've successfully helped launch 25 websites for upstart businesses. I hope to talk more about my experience with you in person and how I can help TechTown USA meet its 2020 design goals. Do you see how she mentioned the 2020 design goals? Knowing that that's how the company operates, she must have research information about the company, knowing that they work with design goals so that she can mention that there as well. Gave very good details and examples about 25 websites and told them what she wanted them to do, which was to talk to her about an interview, right? Let's see another one. Okay, this one says, Dear Miss Martin, I'm writing to express my interest in the server role at Yard House. As an efficient server with 3 years of experience assisting 50 plus daily customers in fast-paced environments, I believe I would be a great addition to the restaurant team. Okay, so look, how could you change this paragraph really quickly to where you don't have to start with I? You could say, as an efficient server with 3 years of experience assisting 50 plus daily customers in fast-paced environments, I would like to express my interest in the server role at Yard House because I believe I'd be a great addition to the restaurant team. Something like that, right? Look what it says. I bring a comprehensive set of skills that would be valuable to Yard House. In my last server role at Sizzler, I managed up to 6 tables at a time, ensuring all customers received their food and beverages in a timely manner. My customer service, people-centric nature and compassion have given me the ability to build customer loyalty and gain regular customers. So I'm trying to expose you to a couple different cover letters to give you some vocabulary that you can use, but also you can do the same thing. Cover letters for waitresses, cover letters for technology, cover letters for this, for that, so that you can see other vocabulary as well, depending on what job you're going for. I'm excited to contribute my talents and proficiency in problem solving toward your team efforts. As an engaging communicator with a proven track record in problem solving, I have been able to increase overall customer satisfaction by 30% within my first year of working at Sizzler. Do you see what she knows about this company? She knows that they're focused on customer satisfaction. That's why she put it into her cover cover letter. You have to go and research the company and see what their principles are, what they value, and then mention that you have those things so that you would be a good part of the team. Please review my enclosed resume for a more in-depth illustration of my work history and accomplishments. I would appreciate the opportunity to interview at your earliest convenience. I'm eager to discuss how my personality and background fit the server role. That's pretty short, okay? It's not super long, and she uses spaces so it doesn't look super long. Here's the other thing, guys. Sometimes they're not going to even read your words. They're just going to look for keywords, server role, okay, customer satisfaction by 30%, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, well, let's do one more, and I'll let you go dabble in your own. Okay, let's see. Let us see. What's this one look like? By the way, you can also design them, okay? You can put designs on them. You don't have to just put the basic information. You can do a nice color here or different things like that. Okay, here she has the date. There she has the address. There she has Dear Mrs. Astronaut. Getting 7 commendations for efficiency as a CMA at Medfast with a nice achievement. At the core of it is the joy I take in being part of a smooth, efficient system. That's why your search for a new CMA at Big Bean Medical Clinic has me so excited. Look, she's enthusiastic, this one. Your job posting says you're looking for a certified medical assistant skilled in EHR, recording patient information, and medical billing with 4 years experience. I'm a CMA with 5 years of experience plus these accomplishments. Then she lists her accomplishments. Boom, boom, boom. I'd love to find out more about how I can help save time at Big Bean Medical. Could we set aside some time for a call? Okay, so she just flat out asked them. P.S. I'd also be happy to explain how I helped raise use of the patient portal by 25% and saved another 10 office staff hours per month. So look, she leaves them with something like, "Oh, I want to hear about that. Let me call this girl." Okay, and then she gives her information on the side here, so it's very easy to find her phone number to call her up because she sounds like an interesting person. Okay, so that is where we're at, you guys. You need to invent a company, invent the position or look for one, do some research or invent some research, right? And then make a convincing sales pitch, a convincing sales letter to sell your talents to the company that you're hoping to get a job at. Okay, to distinguish yourself from the other applicants that maybe don't have a cover letter or just have a basic one that almost everybody can guess everyone has and doesn't set you apart. Okay, remember, it's a competition to get a job, and it starts with your documentation. If you have any questions, just let me know. Bye, guys.